let's be honest about something most people don't want to admit. Many of us think we're self-aware. We believe we understand ourselves. After all, we've been living our lives for literally decades, making decisions, having experiences, forming concrete beliefs about who we are. So it's easy to assume we fully know ourselves. But the truth is, most of us don't. And one of the first steps toward real self-awareness is being willing to admit that. Because the person we believe ourselves to be is often built on something deeper. Not truth, but protection. Sometimes it's almost like wearing a mask you didn't even realize you put on. Over time, that mask becomes so familiar, you start believing it's who you are. And eventually, it feels like you can't even take it off. So the mask becomes your identity, even though it was never your true self to begin with. From the time we were children, we started forming ways to protect ourselves emotionally. Maybe when you were sad, someone tried to comfort you, but the message you internalized was that sadness needed to be fixed quickly. Maybe when you got angry, you were punished or told that anger was wrong. So what do children do when certain emotions are rejected? They adapt, because a child's survival depends on their caregiver. They learn to suppress parts of themselves and slowly build a false version of self that feels, safer and more accepted. Over time, those adaptations become emotional protectors. And eventually, those protectors turn into belief systems about who we think we are. You start believing things like emotions are dangerous, anger is bad, sadness is weakness, all subconsciously. So instead of feeling those emotions fully, you disconnect from them. And eventually, those patterns start shaping the way you move through life. They influence the relationships you form. They influence how you handle conflict. They influence the kind of partner you're drawn to. Many relationships end up becoming a reflection of these patterns. One person may be very emotionally reactive. The other may shut down and become cold or overly logical. Instead of two people understanding each other emotionally, the relationship slowly turns into a cycle of frustration and resentment. And over time, that tension either breaks the relationship or both people simply become numb to each other. But it doesn't stop there. Those same patterns can influence your career, your friendships, even the goals you pursue in life. Some people choose a career path not because it truly reflects who they are, but because it fits the identity they formed growing up. Maybe it was something their parents encouraged. Maybe it was something that made them feel accepted or successful. But years later, they realize something that doesn't feel right. They feel empty, unfulfilled, disconnected from themselves because they built their life around an identity that was never truly theirs. And this is why self-awareness is so important, because until we are willing to look honestly at our patterns, we remain trapped inside them. We keep repeating the same reactions, the same emotional triggers, the same relationship dynamics. And over time, those patterns don't just stay internal. They literally begin shaping the experiences we create and encounter in our lives, like struggles in relationships, conflict with people around us, job loss, financial difficulties, divorce, even mental and emotional health struggles. Because when the internal patterns remain the same, the external experiences often begin to mirror them. So if you really want to begin changing your life, the first step, it isn't ambition, it's honesty. Honesty about your patterns. Honesty about your emotional reactions. Honesty about the beliefs you've been carrying about yourself, the people around you, and even the world at large. If you look at your life right now, do you see patterns repeating? Struggles in relationships, conflict with people around you, a constant need to prove yourself or defend your perspective. Those patterns, they're not random. They're revealing something deeper about the way you learn to protect yourself. And, well, the moment you begin to see those patterns clearly, you can begin to finally question them. Where did these beliefs come from? Are they actually true? Or are they simply the protective identity you formed long ago? Because real growth begins when a man stops reacting automatically and starts understanding himself. So, let me ask you something. Have you ever taken a step back and questioned the identity you've been living from? Or do you feel like you're still discovering parts of yourself you never fully understood? And I'd love to hear your thoughts or experiences, okay? Drop a comment below. And if you're a man rebuilding yourself after divorce, separation, or breakup, stick around. That's what this channel is about. May God be with you in your victories and in your struggles. And may He use both to rebuild you and remind you of who you truly are.